This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or exclusive Patreon only gameplays, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Siona Captain of the Pyleas versus Kess Dissident Mage. With colourless mana. Colourless mana, I don't think I can keep that thanks to the Rogue's Passage. Wow, and then a bunch of mana. Okay, let's keep there. We'll get rid of that Dryad Arbor, can we? Yeah, I think because we're up against Kess, I'm going to assume that it's a spiky opponent. Plus we've got a tap land in hand anyway, so I can't take 2 turns off with lands. Because we might draw into a 2 CMC spell that we want to cast. Let's go for the Scattered Grove, get our tap land in first. And I very much like the look of Enchantress's Presence. Okay, a land tax is something that we can do on turn 2, so let's just throw that out. And we'll pass over to our opponent. They've gotten down a Dark Confidant, of course. As usual in a Kess deck, I'm assuming that it's a very low curve. Got quite a few more competitive players on tonight, so like I said, I'm assuming that that's what this is, although extra turn spell, maybe they've got a bunch of those in the deck and they just don't mind taking the damage. Speaking of which, we take 2 from Dark Confidant. They have more lands than us. They've got Grixis mana held up. That doesn't necessarily mean that they've got counters, but plenty of 1 blue counter spells to choose from. We will go for 2 green and a white. And oh, that's strange. I obviously haven't changed my basic forests here. I must do that. I've changed a load of my my decks to have these new basics in them. Let's just try an Enchantress's Presence. That is the type of card that you want to counter if you've got counter magic for it. This time revealing a Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, if my decks don't make use of the snow-covered basics, then I've decided to replace them with these new Theros ones. And it's typically just the mono-coloured decks that I use, the snow-covered forests and swamps and all the rest of it with extra planar lens. Now comes a Jace the Mind Sculptor as well. So we can go for our Siona with a Flickering Ward so that they can't bounce it. That sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's go for more plains here. In fact, a forest and 2 plains ought to do it. Yeah, that's really bugging me that those things are mixed up. Anyway, let's go for the plains into our commander. And then that comes in, it reveals a bunch of stuff off the top. So we're definitely going to have to discard this turn because we'll draw from the Enchantress's Presence as well, clearing off a whole bunch of nothing. There's a Citizen Champion, new Enchantress, and then Season of Growth as well, which I've got high hopes for in this deck, but apparently we're not going to be playing that this game. You never know, we could shuffle things up and draw into it later. Enchantress's Presence draws off of the casting of Flickering Ward, and we just get into a shuffle effect. Speaking of that, we'll take Protection from blue, so that Jace can't unsummon us, and then we get a human, and that will make a good blocker for Dark Confidant. And then with that we will get rid of the plains, the forest, the forest. Don't think we're going to make use of Gavany Township because this is seemingly a more competitive game, but I'll keep hold of it just in case. Jace goes for the Brainstorm. And they revealed the steam vents off the top as well. They don't have anything to go for with Snap Mage yet, luckily. But they do have 9 cards in hand. Maybe going for, okay, just an extra turn, so that's an Explorer, I don't mind that. That suggests that they're actually struggling a little bit. which is very surprising considering the number of cards they're drawing into. They discarded Dreadbore at the end of the turn as well. Dark Confident continuing to trigger and gets them into their second land in a row. But they probably put that on top with Jace the Mind Sculptor so they wouldn't take life. And then a Lightning Bolt gets rid of our commander. So they couldn't unsummon it, but they could Lightning Bolt. I'm sure this Grixis deck is stuffed full of removal. And then they're going for Jace Vryn's Prodigy as well. So now we have to try... Okay, Thoughtseize. I was going to say we have to try and go for our commander into a canopy cover. And we're a few turns off of that anyway, but they get rid of the alpha status. I dare say they can play at instant speed and either counter our commander or blow it up in response to a canopy cover. Let's just continue to rip lands out of the library. Oh, and of course land tax shuffles as well, doesn't it? So, yeah, there's that. Do we just play into open counter magic? Let's throw out a brush land. And let's attempt to set something up for next turn maybe. We can go open the armory. And actually it won't be next turn, will it? It'll be the turn after. But we'll just go for the combo, Shielded by Faith. Which I'm sure they know about. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 mana for our commander. And then it's 3 mana for the Shielded by Faith, yeah, so we are a million miles away. Ditch some more basics. And yet again revealing a land with the Dark Confident. Then Jace gives them a loot effect. Oh, and they've cast a Night's Whisper as well, by the way. They discard Pyroblast, which is useless to them, against a Celestia deck. Then another Brainstorm from Jace the Mind Sculptor. They have flipped the Jace, by the way, so they can use Flashback with that if they want to. They've gone for the Flashback onto Lightning Bolt, onto our human. They're obviously conscious of their life total with that Dark Confident. Although they can stack the top of their library with Jace, so wouldn't have thought they'd need to be worried. They do need to draw the game to a close, though. And then down comes their commander. So I think we just need to try and land a mana reflection here. Let's say yes there, and we'll pull out some planes. Near enough clearing our library of basics. In fact, I'll leave a planes in the deck to fetch out with Prismatic Vista. And we'll just play that this turn. We draw into Eidolon of Blossoms. So, yeah, let's just go for an attempt on mana reflection. And that should help us try and get out a victory. Okay, Wild Growth is a means of triggering the Eidolon and other enchantresses. So I think what we have to do is go for our commander into a canopy cover. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14 mana next turn. So we should be able to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If they blow up our commander, it's 5 and then 7. So we should be able to get our commander out twice next turn, assuming that they get rid of it in response to the canopy. They reveal another land off the top, which they no doubt put there with their commander, and there's a Duress, getting rid of the combo piece they know we have. So now it's a case of hoping for the Sun Titan. They tick up the Jace Telepath Unbound. They've still got a Snap Mage in the hand, so they can go after more discard stuff. I don't think they have removal. No, they don't really have any creature removal. Looks like they have gone for an extra turn though. It's all passing by so quickly that I can't tell what's happening, but they did swing in at us and then, yeah, going in for more Jace the Mind Sculptor. This is the beginning of another turn. Yet another land revealed off the top. Dark Confident and Jace doing great work together. Then a Thought Scour. And they milled themselves, probably to clear off the 2 lands that they know are on top, thanks to their Brainstorm. Then swinging in for 5 more points of damage. And then it's Liliana of the Veil. They tick up and have us discard, which we don't really care about. Managing to keep our hand full with a land tax, although we won't be able to do that anymore now that all of our basics are gone. Okay, a Thrang Golem. We just go for a forest and attempt our commander. We haven't gotten into Cavern of Souls, unfortunately. Okay, that manages to hit the field. There's Utopia Sprawl and Darksteel Mutation. I will take the Darksteel Mutation. We'll go like that onto Kess. That will draw us a card with Enchantress's Presence. A Song of the Dryads gets rid of Liliana of the Veil, I think. Although, let's see if we even need to do that. Let's attempt to Canopy Cover. Eladamri's Call. Okay, Canopy Cover sticks. Let's see if Song of the Dryads sticks. We'll try and get rid of Liliana. Alright, that does, so they can't make us sacrifice there, although we had a human for that anyway. Let's just go for Wild Growth onto a Plains, just to draw a card. Okay, Idyllic Tutor. So, as far as I can tell, we're just going to go in for Eladamri's Call next turn. So let's put that. It doesn't matter if we get into Sun Titan during the upkeep, does it? Yeah, so it doesn't matter when we cast the Eladamri's Call, it puts it straight into our hand. They reveal Izzet Charm. They are down to 14. They go for a bounce on their own Kess. Let's have a look at their graveyard, can extend that. Then they go for a board wipe in Toxic Deluge. Let's... Oh, how much mana do we have then? We'll need 8 for Eladamri's Call and Sun Titan. And then... So that's 2, 4, 6 and 8. Then this will be 2. That'll be 6, I think, there. 8, 10. So we can afford to cast Siona out of the command zone and Eladamri's Call and Sun Titan, I think. So in that case, let's allow her back into the command zone. I was just debating whether to put her in the bin or not. I dare say our opponent has instant speed spot removal anyway, like I said. And there is Kess again. Do they want to go for a discard effect? They might be worried about what we've got in hand. We've got Idyllic Tutor as well, so we don't need the Eladamri's Call necessarily. But it would be good to land a Sun Titan. So yet again, no on the land tax. Birds of Paradise is next to useless, so let's drop Reflecting Pool. We'll go Eladamri's Call. Oh, that's 3 mana and not 2. Yeah, how is that worded? If you tap a permanent for mana. Yeah, so we're not tapping Wild Growth for mana, so it doesn't give us twice as much. So that's how that works. Let's go... We'll just go in for our commander first and see if they want to counter it, because that will dictate what we do with the rest of the turn, and it might dictate what we go for with Eladamri's Call as well. But that does come in. And it reveals a whole heap of nothing. I just saw Boomweaver Giant, actually. We could go for that, couldn't we? Yeah, there's always Boomweaver Giant. Let's just go for the Sun Titan. I think our opponent's got removal anyway, so Boomweaver or Sun Titan doesn't really make much of a difference. Now they go for the Catacombs. They shock down a Blood Crypt. And now going for the 2 damage from the Izzet Charm, which we can do nothing about. We could... Oh, do they have counter magic for the Sun Titan? Yeah, I'm just going to put it in the graveyard, and if it gets stuck there, then so be it. So there we are, we go for Sun Titan. And it does land, luckily, so we can grab our Siona back out of the bin. Say yes there. Siona triggers again. Just need to change the zones on her quickly. Okay, Alpha Authority, I'll take that. Let's just go like that. We don't want to go into the bin again. Alpha Authority. Or an attempt on Alpha Authority onto our commander. Yeah, I was not expecting to do anything against Kess here, but oh, we get into the Boomweaver again. Yeah, I was not expecting to do anything against my opponent, so I'm actually happy that we've managed to do this much, to be honest. Leave it at that. Our commander has hexproof, so they're going to have to go for a board wipe again, taking out their own commander. They'll be able to do 3 points of damage to us first, though. Yet more Jace the Mind Sculptor activations. And then they gave something flashback, I think. Yeah, that's a -3. And what did they go for? That was Dreadbore. Went into the exile zone. What did they... Oh, they went for that on Sun Titan. That went... It's all going by really quickly, like I've said. So we can try and get into Rancor with the Idyllic Tutor and hope that we draw into Phyrexian Arena. Or we can just go straight in for Boomweaver, can't we? Yeah, landing this Mana Reflection has been a real game changer for us. It's actually helped keep us in the game. Now a Chrome Mox from our opponent. And they exile a Mental Misstep underneath that. Yeah, I think going straight in for Boomweaver is the plan, because if they want to counter anything, then countering Boomweaver is something they're going to have to do. Alright, going in for Toxic again, managing to keep their commander in play. How much is our commander now? Okay, well, Mana Crypt should help us on that front. It will put a timer on us, though. That is 7, 8, 9. Drop a land. Then we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 2, 4, 6. And then 1 floating from that will leave us with 5. Idyllic Tutor into something, perhaps. Let's go in for the Mana Crypt anyway. And I refuse to believe that they don't have counter magic. What does this counter? Target non-creature spell. Okay. So we have to be wary of that if we go in for Idyllic Tutor at the end of the turn. Oh, and of course Mana Crypt taps for 4, doesn't it? So that might really help us. Going for our commander for the 100th time. And if this is the last of their counter magic, alright, that is, unless you pay 2. I'll certainly do that. In fact, let's do it like this with the colourless. They might just be forcing us to use more mana. It might also be the last counter spell that they have. They can go Snap Mage into that though, which is noteworthy. And they're paying costs again. Snap Mage, they have tapped their mana. Oh, can they go for blue mana with this? I thought that was a Rakdos land there. We're doing a pretty damn good job on exhausting their resources. Oh, and of course they've got blue mana over here as well. Yes, so they should be able to go for Mental Misstep, instead targeting the Abrade. Looks like we need instant speed protection with our commander in this deck if we're going to play it against more competitive opponents. So there we go, 3 damage there. And there's a Rancor. And we have not yet seen our Phyrexian Arena, I don't think. We've got Snap Mage out of their hand. They can swing in for 5 next turn. Can they deal any damage to us? We've seen the back of Lightning Bolt. Can this deal damage? 2 damage to a target creature. It can't do it to us. Pyroblast is just blue stuff, isn't it? Yes. Boomweaver doesn't currently go infinite, but it does dig our Shielded by Faith out of the bin. Problem is, Jace the Mind Sculptor bouncing this puts it back in the bin. So in that case, lost track of how much my commander is now. That's 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. Into Birds of Paradise maybe? Yeah, we'll just try. If we're going for that combo, then we're just going to have to try and stick our commander. Although, that just leaves us wide open to Is It Charm, doesn't it? Although, can they give it flashback with this? Oh no, they can do it with their commander. Yeah, so in that case, let's just go Eidolon of Blossoms. I think it's just a case of trying to draw a bunch of cards, really. Okay, Wolf Widow Haven will draw us 2 cards. Eidolon of Blossoms entering will also draw us a card. We'll go Sterling Grove. That will give our enchantment Shroud. Angelic Destiny might help keep us in it because it is lifelink. Arcane Signet will tap for 2 mana. Let's go Wolf Willow Haven onto Sunpetal Grove, just for the sake of drawing more cards. There's another land. Okay, another Enchantress. So how much mana do we get? That's 3 from that. So we can go Birds of Paradise with an Angelic Destiny on it, can't we? And that's a good blocker for their commander. So let's go like that. Again, they can unsummon it, but it forces Jace to do something that they don't necessarily want to do. And that is unsummon a creature. Yeah. So we can go like that. We've got another means of getting our combo out of the bin now in Replenish. Sanctum of Eternity might actually be really good if they go for spot removal on the stack like they just did. So let's get rid of Thrangolem. Do we want to get rid of Thrangolem? Get rid of Arcane Signet. And we'll just get rid of the Flooded Strand as well, because I'm going to play Sanctum of Eternity next turn. Straight into a Brainstorm off of Jace, which tells me that they're desperate for answers. They didn't even hesitate there. It's noteworthy as well that they can't target the Song of the Dryads anymore with a bounce effect or something like that. And then they cracked the Bloodstained Mire. They go down to 4 because they cast a Night's Whisper, so they're up to 7 cards in hand, which might mean a whole heap of hurt for us. They didn't unsummon with Jace either, so we've still got the Birds of Paradise in play. Oh, and we have seen Snap Mage now, haven't we? So let's get that window out. Whew, okay, so let's see if we get bolted. Don't actually mind losing this game now because it's been such an interesting back and forth. Let's throw out the Sanctum of Eternity. Yet again, going for our commander. That comes down, look at the top 7, take an aura. We get Fertile Ground. And let's just try and go for Replenish. If they've got a counter, they'll want to counter Replenish. Okay, Flickering Ward comes out. We'll just choose black. They've still got that on summon with Jace, so probably a good idea to go for that, actually. Attach Returning Auras. We'll put Flickering Ward. Oh, our opponent scoops. That is a victory and a half, if I do say so myself. Yeah, we managed to assemble the combo even after all that. All we were going to do there was start attaching our auras. So, it is Darksteel Mutation comes back, gets rid of Kess. That comes back with Pro Blue. Goes on Siona. The Shielded by Faith goes on to Siona and it goes infinite. Failing all that and the Replenish getting countered, we could have just gone for 2, 4... 6, and then I think 7, 8, 9 there. Straight in for Boomweaver Giant. That would have been 2 mana floating. And yeah, we could have fished out the Shielded by Faith with the Boomweaver Giant there. Then it would have been, what did I say, 3 mana floating. So perhaps could have gone in for Idyllic Tutor. Yeah, 3 mana floating. We get 2 from this, or whatever land we don't tap. And then we go for Concordant Crossroads with Idyllic Tutor. Throw that down, we have haste, and we go in at our opponent this turn. Unfortunately, they didn't give us the chance to show that, but I think that was a really, really good game. And in the early game there, I was actually thinking about just quitting that one because I'm running low on time to get videos out for all of you. But for the second or third time tonight, proving why you shouldn't quit when you think that your opponent's got you, I think the main thing there was getting down the mana doubler, which is buried behind this window. Getting down mana reflection when our opponent's mana was tapped out was a definite game changer there, because we definitely needed it to keep throwing out our commander. Anyway, that was a really enjoyable game, and I'm amazed that we won that one. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.